Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Gormley Show. We were just listening to The Ritual by GEIST. GEIST is sort of a band, right? How would you do?
Yeah.
GEIST is you guys, but what's the
It's a
configuration? Oh, not
collaboration
Ruth.
of a collaboration of a lot of people. What you listen to, I think you played The Ritual, was all perceived during the pandemic. So when the pandemic hit, I'm like, some people just went to bed for 4 years, and I said, no, this is the time for creativity to strike.
Why am I not surprised at that? I mean, there's two people in the world who are not going to stop. Are
Yeah, it's
these two
never going to
people right
stop, you
here?
know. So,
But
and we don't have any kids, so what do you want to do? Uh, so I wrote that song because I was inspired by somebody who had like, oh man, you got to write a track at 148 beats a minute because that's the dance, that's the techno groove, that's everybody loves. And I'm like, okay, a dance song, that's an interesting thing.
And coming from an old farts perspective, I said, well, could we, just so I don't panic and helping with lyrics, can we call it, say it's 74 beats a minute? You call it what you want and double it on your end.
So I set up the drum beat, which is very generic, but then I said, how about some scorpion guitars and show the kids that it actually can rock out with a live playing. So it just became a thing. And then over Zoom during the pandemic, I met all these amazing musicians, and then so we just collaborated. We just invited people to join, send me the track. This is a great performance. And so the Book of Shadows is the story of Martin Cole basically going down to the ninth circle of hell and coming back out. And what happens during that time. And Emocanics was a song that AI built this virtual game world, and your virtual girlfriend, there's no more need for physical girlfriends. You have a virtual girlfriend now, is described as an emotional mechanic.
Yeah, but can she roll a perfect French omelet? I don't think so.
let me ask you something on the music side, or at least the combination. And I was sort of going to stay away from this because I wanted to talk about AI, but your last name is McCartney,
Yeah.
and you have this stepbrother named Paul.
That's right.
And people don't know he's a musician. Um, what's he going to do? What's Lady Gaga going to do? What are some the really big names? Are they done?
No, I think obviously in somebody like Paul's case and Ringo and Billy Joel, their fan base is of an age where they're still going to want organic music performed by the performer. I mean, he just sold out last month all over South America, Argentina, 120,000 people a night. Maybe their kids in the next generation, or somebody as young as Lady Gaga, has probably got a crossover audience who would accept her having robot dancers on stage, for example. But coming up with K-pop and all of the stuff in Asia, why does the record label need a living, breathing, organic artist who may get sick or overdose or, worse? I think a lot of the future music that we're going to be subjected to is going to be electronically driven and by corporations and greed and AI. But I think it's up to us to teach our kids piano and guitar and even a damn tambourine, because music is tribal, it's primeval, it's medieval, it's all those things.
And the last single of the Beatles, what was it? Here and There.
Now and Then.
Now and Then. Here and Now and Then.
Here now and then.
AI supported. So this is an answer to your question. If you use AI as a tool, go ahead. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what it can do, because music is math based. So AI is math based. So the Beatles took it, and
cleaned up the audio. Well, Giles did an amazing job.
Yeah, cleaned up all that stuff. It's still, to me, it's still not, there are no flat notes, you know what I mean? It's still a little clean. For my taste, is like, everybody's like, how is AI going to interpret Neil Young?
A little bit like musical Botox.
That's right. Exactly.
I love that. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but they are both math-based. Martin is right. And I think they're cousins in a way. And, you know, let's go all the way back to the Kurzweil keyboard and DX7s and synthesizers. Everyone's like, oh, that's the death of the music. CDs, it's the death of the music business. In fact, that wasn't, you know, digitizing the music business wasn't the death of the music business. That was streaming. And, you know, nobody saw that coming because it was just a way to get more music into people's ears. But at the same time, the poor artists make 0.003 cents per stream. If you buy one download from Apple at 99 cents, that equals 20,000 streams on a streamer for an artist. So I think the damage financially in the business has already been done. And the thing with artists is they're creative. They'll find a way around it. You know, they'll find a way to be able to make AI a band member, but not the management.
David Bowie said in the 80s, I think it was the mid 80s, said something very, very futuristic. He said, you know, when it comes to copyright and residuals and royalties and all that stuff, you'll be taking a shower one morning and the music that's playing in the background, you're going to pay with your electricity bill. And so I'm like, well, what's he talking about? Right? So it's all going to be built in. Netflix, your $20 a month or however much that is, will have all these royalties built in.
It's a utility. You know, you can walk up, switch on your smart speaker, and you're paying somebody like Apple Music $10 a month. It's part of your utility bill, which is why David Bowie decided to take himself public, which was back in those days, 25 years ago. That was amazing. Absolutely genius.
And it all drifts into things like facial recognition and self-driving cars are using AI and it just comes up. But there's one I read where we could predict natural disaster.
Wow, that's just Well, yeah. I wish that had happened in Spain in Valencia in those floods.
Yeah, no kidding.
Those people got no warning at all.
No,
unbelievable. You know,
insane on that sort of thing.
We got how many satellites have we got in space looking at the weather, and we couldn't have said get an umbrella?
Yeah.
Holy moly. You know, going outside, take a brolly.
Well, I guess AI can.
It's coming
with that sort of thing. Who knows? But
oh no, there are definitely great things in the hopper for curing cancer, getting genetic disabilities corrected, DNA. But then again, you think about like, okay, how is that ethically and morally? So you get an artificial leg and it's built out of this silicon-based plasma.
Yeah, but then you can run in the Paralympics. I mean, look at my former sister-in-law, Heather Mills. She's got, you know, one leg below the left knee, and holds the record for the fastest downhill slalom skiing human, not just woman, in the world. So if it wasn't for technology, you know, Heather wouldn't be out there making strides for her offspring, B, and saying, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, I think that's the thing. I was at the dentist a couple of months ago, and there were magazines on the table, and this guy had his toddler with him, and she started crying, and I'm like, what on earth just happened? And the magazine was open on the table, and she was trying to enlarge the picture with her two fingers like you would on an iPad. Didn't know how to turn the page of a magazine. So if we're down to those basics, I think adopting technology for these new generations is just going to be expected. I mean, if you gave a kid, I took my mom this morning for her annual physical. She's 95 next week. And they said, draw a circle on a piece of paper, put all the numbers on a clock face, and draw their hands where it says 10 past 11. And she nailed it. And I said to the doctor, well, what are they going to do with, like, you know, 15-year-olds who come in who've had some kind of traumatic brain injury? They won't know how to draw a clock face. They don't own watches. They can't tell the time.
Time blindness is a new word.
Oh, that's just a
time blindness.
That's because people rely on their cell phones and alarms. They don't really know what time it is.
Well, we're going to go to another commercial on that friendly note. Go in smiling.
That's what time it is. Time for a commercial.
But it is time to smile because we're going to listen to GEIST again, but we're going to listen to the whole song this time, which is called Stardust.
Great.
And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. You're listening to the Mike Gormley Show.